Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. It's Wednesday, the 5th of October. We've got new mods on console and we've got some updates. Boy, have we got a treat for you. We have got today the most customizable truck ever made for Farming Simulator. We will see that in a bit. Updates. The pig feed mixer by ZoddelZockt, the John Deere 5080E series by MSModding, the Lizard windrow by Pushcap, the Rosselmash Across 595 by Pushcap, and the Lizard Disc Harrow 2.5 by Pushcap have all had updates. In front of me, we've got the grain elevator by Dutch Modding. This is a sell point, 12.81 megabytes download, 10 slots on console, 500,000 to buy. It is a huge building. But it is just sell point. Now it does say, and notice a little bit of a dip here, and it didn't adjust the. Well, if it did adjust the train, it adjust it down for some reason. So we've got a bit of a gap underneath there. I don't know if you'll find out when you place it, if you place one. Now it does say with this that. Try and get this to open up. There we go. This building can be used to sell your grain. It also supports multi-fruit depending on the map. Now that's could mean anything. It depends on the map you're on, what multi-fruit it will support. As far as I can tell, looking into our options up here at selling and looking across to the right hand side, actually we'll go up first until we get to the top. So grain elevator, we've got sell point there for wheat, barley, oats, canola, sorghum, nothing for grapes, nothing for olives, sunflower, soybean, corn, nothing for potatoes, sugar beet cut. So it is pretty much grain crops. And it will depend what map you're on and what you're running, whether or not you'll get sell points come up for other things from the grain elevator. So you find out in the build mode, it's under production, under sell points. As I said, 500,000. Slot count comes down from 10 to 1. Huge. Next. Now, I don't know where this is going. I've got to be honest. I would like it to be going in the direction I hope it's going, but I know how giants are about certain things in game. But we've got two mods from ZoddelZockt. We're going to look at the first one. This is hop plantation. So we've got hops. See where it could be going? I don't think it will, but it could be. Unless I can rename it and be very clever with it. Anyway, sorry, I'm being a bit cryptic, but I think you'll get the idea. This is 13.84 megabytes download, 27 slots on console, 55,000 to buy. We grow hops. And we also get a byproduct coming out as well, which is the biomaterial. And then we can also do hop pellets. Now, there's a couple of things about this. A little bit like some of the other ZoddelZockt mods that come out, they require other ZoddelZockt mods to work. Now this one does specifically talk about the composter because it requires compost here, so you may need the ZoddelZockt composter unless you've got some other way of making compost or a different mod that does compost. But the ZoddelZockt composter is 6.69 megabytes download, 11 slots on console, 90,000 to buy, and we've reviewed it before, but that's what you'll be looking at. Now this auto downloaded when I downloaded that. So it came up saying I needed it and it downloaded. You can put all sorts of stuff in that and you can get your compost out. You can put your compost onto distributing, which will send it directly to there, or you can take it out and put it in yourself. It's entirely up to you how you want to go about it. Now, what do we actually get in here? If we click on our manage production point. So hops requires 2,500 of water, 50 seed, 100 fertilizer and 250 compost, and then you'll get 500. So it's quite I say a downgrade. It's the water really, but if you've got a point where you can get your water for free, that doesn't really matter too much. 500 of hops and 450 of biomaterial, which can be sold directly. You can sell them to a sell point, but it does say you're going to need the wholesale, which is also by ZoddelZockt, so that's a sell point. But I have found that the Sell Anything mod by MSModding that I've got on this map is also showing up sell points for all these as well. So that's your recipe for doing your hops. This will hold 1 million litres of water and then seed solid fertilizer compost is 10,000 litres each. As you can see, I've been kind of working my way through so I can get a load of hops being produced. And then if we want to do hop pellets, it takes 2,000 of hops and gives you 1,500 litres of hop pellets coming out. Now that's weird because I'm hoping they're 1,000 litre pallets or we're going to have a problem. So at the moment, this is the disable pallet spawn. So if you don't want the pallet spawning, you can turn that off, which is great. I may have missed it over there. We'll see that in a moment. So this is where you're putting in your various different things that need to go in, your compost, your seeds, your fertilizer, and your water. That's where that goes in. And then if we come over to here, it says disable pallet spawn. So at the moment, you can't spawn any pallets. If I enable that, or there we go, what should happen in a moment, we should get some pallet spawn out here. There we go. So we've got our hops in bags. Is that biomaterial? It hasn't spawned any. What's the capacity of these? 2,000 litres. That's probably why. I was hoping for a hop pellets to spawn. But as you can see, if you set it like this, you're going to get your hops coming out. You're going to get your biomaterial. And then you'll get hop pellets if you've got hop pellets running, which at the moment I thought 1,000 would be enough, but we haven't. We've got 1,326. So a whole load of stuff that then can be sold. If we go back to our menu for sell points, and we scroll down until we get to those. So hops, pretty good pricing. As you can see, the hop plantation wholesale and sell everything containers will take them. Hop pellets, though, they're worth a fair bit more. Now, potentially, moving further down the line, we may get more mods that come out from ZoddelZockt that will utilise the hops and hop pellets. Who knows? Now, the biomaterial doesn't pay very much, but the biomaterial can be put back into the system because one of the things that can help to produce compost is biomaterial. So what you can do from here, I could set my biomaterial to distributing, which will send the biomaterial back to the composter, and our compost on distributing will go into the hop plantation. So it kind of rotates around. So you could sell the biomaterial or you can send it back into the composter to roll round again, and you're giving yourself a bit of a process that runs around. So yeah, hops, biomaterial, hop pellets. You'll find this under build mode, under productions. 55 grand, as I said. Slot count will come down to 2. But then you may well need the composter as well to go with it to get your compost in the first place. Unless you've got a mod that allows you to buy compost. Some of the binding silos may allow you to. It depends what pallets you're running, all different mods. So there may be some things that are compatible, but if you haven't got any of those mods on, you're going to need the composter. So that's Hop Plantation by ZoddelZockt. Next to that, we've got the malt production. We've got a maltings. So hops and malt. Some warm water, bit of yeast, you know. Oh yes. So hop plantation. This malt production. Also by ZoddelZockt, 4.01 megabytes download, 19 slots on console, and 215,000 to buy. This you will also find under build mode and production. That large building there for 215 grand. This requires water. It will take wheat, barley, or corn, and you can get the malt produced from those. If we go around the back, which gives us our managed production, so we're looking for it. There we go. I knew we'd have one. Show triggers, show information panel. What we've got around there? Turn on lights. So you've got all the various different things that will come on if you want them. So that panel's on, there you go. So you can have the malting sign as well if you want to. To put stuff into here, you need the grate open. And if we go around to here, we will see. So, wheat, malt, barley malt, and corn malt. 150 of water, so 500 of each gives you 750 out, so it's pretty good. This took 100,000 litres of each. It will take, and then we've got our stuff coming out. Now, I put it on storing, not even thinking about... Actually, that's a good point. I don't know if there's a disable. I don't think there is. The fact it's... Yeah, the fact is a ZoddelZockt one. I wondered whether or not there would be the option, but it didn't seem to be. But as you can see, as it ran through the night, we'll get our corn malt, wheat malt, and barley malt. Quite a lot of it, which can then all be sold on as well. If we go back to the sell points, we go down to our malts. Prices aren't amazing, but you do get a fair bit of production out there. And like I say, I'm just hoping, I don't know, fingers crossed that something, you know, we get a special adult drink. I don't know how you would market it, but some cool new productions to run anyway, regardless, putting things in. And it allows as well, with all the ZoddelZockt mods, when I did the Western Wilds, all these different things that interlink, that then, you know, the composter now, you've got various different outlets for all these different things. So, cool. Hot plantation and malt production from ZoddelZockt. Next, we've got the family home. This is a weird one, because this one says it's famous, apparently. This is 9.61 megabytes download, 49 slots on console, 50 grand to buy. It's by Oito. Yes, this is a famous family home. I don't know who lived there, but it's famous, apparently. You'll find it under build mode, and you'll find it under farmhouses. Just there. Slot count will come down to 3. Garage door opens. A few bits and bobs in there. We can go in the front door. It's very nice in here. We do have a light switch over here. Shed lights, but the people that live here really do like their cakes, pastries, donuts. Looks like flapjack. Or chunks of OSB, I'm not too sure. The rear patio door opens. Sliding door. Very nice. If we go down the corridor here, this door opens this side. Little utility closet. Is this? Oh, hang on a minute. I've just realised. It's Walter White's house. Famous house. Of course it is. It's from Breaking Bad. I should have realised as I walked in. Yeah, the breakfast bar. I suddenly saw the barrel of money and thought, hang on a minute. How cool is that? It is a famous house. Open the door. We've got our sleep trigger there, and we've got our wardrobe trigger just there. That is amazing. Brilliant. Love it. That's quality, that is. By zero Oito. I don't think the fireplace comes on, so I better double check that. So there we go. Definitely a famous house. That's worth having, isn't it, just for that? I'm the one who knocks. So that's the family home by Oito. Sorry, I got completely sidetracked there. That's pretty cool. Next, we've got this. This is the cattle crush. This is by MSModding. Now, this is decorative only. It can be lifted using the telehandler without an attachment. I lifted it using the bag handler. Either one, as you can see, got the attachment there. And it is, you can take it out, put it by a cattle field. It is just a decorative object. But you find this under tools and miscellaneous. It's 3,200, no options on it. Slot count will come down from 3 to 1. It's 5.4 megabytes to download by MSModding. Like I say, we can, depends what you're using, but it does say with telehandler. This can be loaded onto a trailer. So there we go, so we can raise and lower it to that. So you can put it on trailer, strap it down, and when you get to where you're going, like I say, it just depends if you want to add a bit of immersion to what you're doing. Or not. It's like anything decorative, really. You don't have to use it, but it is there. There you go. The Cattle Crush by MSModding. Next we've got this. This is the Sawmill by Happy Mole. It is 9.02 megabytes download, and I didn't write down the slot count to apologise. However, this gives you a better rate out than in. So your lumber in, you get wood chips as a byproduct. So your lumber goes here. Your cell bit here for your lumber. Click on that and it will take it in. I put just over 6,000 litres, 6,000 something, I can't remember. It wasn't a huge amount. And I've got 9 pallets of planks. So that's a pretty good ratio in to out. My managed production plant is just here. So wood planks, lumber in, 3 in, 4 out, plus wood chip. So of that wood chip that I put, of that lumber that I put in, I've got 345 litres of wood chip out from the wood and the process that runs. It's not bad actually. I was going to check that, wasn't I? What is it? Cycles per month 4,800 cycles per month. Not a bad production at all. Not a bad size. I love the little chimney on there as well. It just adds a little bit to it, doesn't it? Well, and your wood chips we can take out from there. It's under production. And where are we? Right on the end, I think. There we go. 35 grand. That's all. Slot count's not going to be horrendous. I'm sorry I didn't write it down. I suppose I could sell it now. I've got the planks, couldn't I? Yeah, I better double check it. Just to make sure. Landscaping and demolish. That should put it back. Go back to production. Let's come off there. Hopefully going back on again it should reset itself. And we can double check. If it still says 1, I'm going to panic. 18, there we go, that's better. I just wanted the boards to produce before because I thought about it earlier and thought, oh no, because I'm still in the production. 18 slots, so not horrendous, and yeah, pretty good ratio of wood to boards. Next, we've got this, the Amazon Senio 3000 Super by Mashkal. It is 12.48 megabytes download, 13 slots on console, and 3 meters wide. The standard in-game Senio is a Senio 4000, I think. So we've got a 3 meter cultivator, people. If you've been waiting for one for a while, here we have it. The detailing on this is fantastic. It looks amazing. There's quite a few options on it as well. So you'll find it under tools and under cultivators. Yeah, Senio 4000 standard in-game. Out on the end there, 3000. 14,500 requires 105 horsepower. Slot count will come down to 1. So we've got the shares on there. We've got 80mm, 100mm, 320mm duckfoot, 350mm wing shares, and then back to 80mm again. So you can choose between what you want on your shares. Then on the back, we've got the SW600. Hang on. Down there we go. KW580. This is just the different rollers. UW580. TW520, double set of rollers. DW600, back to the SW600. So a few different options on rollers and stuff on the back. We have lighting on it as well, and indicators on the back. Pop it down. And there we go. This isn't a shallow cultivator. Now, obviously, I've said this before because of the way I've got my field set up and how I did them. I haven't got any stones coming up, but this will bring up small stones because it's not a shallow cultivator. But it's not a deep plough, ripper, subsoiler, so you won't get large stones. But, yeah, very nice indeed, that. 9 miles an hour. Very cool. The Amazon Senio 3000 Super by Mashkal. Next, we have these curiosities. This is the DIY corn maze by Squigglze. 0.93 megabytes download. Each one of these is 9 slots for the first one. Then that slot count will come down. And you can basically just make your own corn maze with all the various different component parts that we've got in there. We've got a single, got a small section. We'll have a look at it. Slightly larger section, corner section, larger corner section. And we've got a doorway, gateway. I do like the way it all blows in the breeze. We've got a bit of movement on the corn. So if you want to set yourself up a little corn maze for any particular reason, you can. Now the good thing is, on some of the, what map was it? It was Elm Creek, wasn't it? You can see through the corn maze. So if you only have it one layer thick, you can kind of see through it. Not spoils the illusion, but you can actually put them fairly close together. That was without even having to press the triangle button to allow for it. So it makes it a little bit harder to see through, so you can give yourself a bit of depth to your corn maze if you want to. These you'll find under decoration, under others. So there are single, there is 5. The 4 meter wall is 10. An 8-metre wall's 20. The 4-metre corner is 25. 8-metre corner 35, and then the doorway is 10. And like I say, you can bring these right up, actually kind of into weave into lock if you want to, and you can pretty much get it so you can just overlap enough with each one that you can block out being able to see through. See what I mean? Which gives you, I just think, gives you a better quality maze all round. But yeah, it's another one of those things. If you want to do it, yeah. If you don't have to. No one's forcing you to make a corn maze. And the good thing is, because it all interlocks quite well, there's no worry about kind of overlap. You can set it up really nicely. Rotation's fine. But there you go. Which brings you on to the last of the mods for today. And as I started off by saying, let me just click on it here, the highest customizable truck ever made for Farming Simulator. A bold statement, but this is 82 Studio. And as I always say with these mods, I love them and dread them. This is the TLX 9000 series by 82 Studio, 56.84 megabytes download. We've got what I assume is a Cummins, and we've got a diesel. As far as I can tell, that's the the right way around. There are so many options. I'm going to get something wrong. I know I will. I'll miss something, because what often happens with mods like this, certain selections further up the menu will adjust certain selections further down the menu. I've tried where I can to hopefully not miss anything, but it can happen. So, I mean, it looks great, it sounds great, and like I say, the customizable options on it are absolutely off the chain. Coupled with the fact this now goes up to, now I thought some of the horsepowers we had before were up there, 2010 horsepower. We got the options on this one. I've got LEDs on the lighting, or you can go for old school lighting. We've got strobe lights, old school strobe lights, standard lights. Oh, it's just, what can I say? It's 82 Studio. So let's have a look. Prepare yourselves. So we start off here with the TLX 9000 series, which I think is the Cummins, as far as I can tell. And then we've got the 3406, which I think is the diesel variant. I'm no expert on lorries. Cab overs as well. I love a cab over. I think they look absolutely brilliant. So we'll start off with this one. I think the options are identical on the other one. As far as I can tell, it's identical. But we'll go through. So configurations. We've got standard, extension 1, extension 2, extension 3. Then we can go for a vintage, USA, blue energy, which is one of the ones I went for, or back to standard. Now, on standard, if we go down here, this is what I'm talking about, we've got one that says special editions, which we can scroll through. If I go, hang on, if I go back and I go onto one of these configurations, vintage, USA, or blue energy, that option disappears from further down. It's only on standard I get the special editions back, because under special editions we've got silver bee, black bell, sad bell, copperfection, vintage, USA, and blue energy under those ones. So it's something to bear in mind. Depending on what you go for the configurations up the top, can change your options further down. So what I'm going to do is keep it standard on this one, just to show you some of the other options. On the other one, I'll then go through and we'll have a look, and I think they're pretty much the same. So, wheel brand. We've got Continental, you have a double axle, triple axle. Now that can play a big part as well, be aware. If you go for a triple axle, when you get further down, there's an option for tank capacities and tank sizes. You'll get clipping between the tanks and the third axle if you go for a third axle. So I'll take that off for the time being, but you can have a third axle. And then we've also then got knobbly tyres. Then we've got Phoenix. Actually, what I'm going to do is go back down, because then within the Continental, you've got wheel setup standard, standard 2, heavy duty, back to standard. Right. Then we go to the Phoenix. So we've got Phoenix double axle, Phoenix triple axle, and then it puts it on red, which is supposed to be like a more knobbly type. I think under the Phoenix it just stays as it is. We'll go back to the double axle. Chrome decals, chrome decal spikes, heavy duty 2, back to chrome decals. Then we move on to Trilex, And we've got Trilex double axle, triple axle, heavy duty or knobbly. Then we've got Trilex style black, white, chrome, back to Trilex style. Then we go to vintage, double axle, triple axle. Again, nothing changes on the third one, but that's all right. Then we've got standard, long nuts, spikes, back to standard. Then we go on to Vredestein, and we've got standard. Now it takes the mudguards off on that one, but we've got much more knobbly ag tyres. Wide 2, back to standard. Triple axle. Then we go to knock-ins, standard, wide, standard. Standards doubles, and then wides, big boys. Double axle, triple axle. And then we're back to continentals again. So options within options on there. I'm going to leave that on double. We did that. So we've looked at these options. Blue Energy USA, Vintage, Copper Perfection, that kind of thing. So I'm going to put it on no, so then we can look at some other ones. Window tint, standard, medium, dark. Exhaust, standard, twin straight with flappers, twin straight angled, twin stacks angled, back to standard. Front bumpers, standard, puts the, I don't remember what they're called, the little rods that stick up. Not feelers, something like that, isn't it? Standard 2. Flat bumper 2. Aussie bumper 2. Back to standard. I think I went for one of those on one of them. Mudguards is on the back. We've got no, yes, standard, which gives you sort of front and rears. Design 1, design 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Loads to choose from on there. Actually, I'm going to pick one so we can see on that. Lighting, design 1. Now, was that on the back? Yeah. Now, I think this also works if you've got a headache rack. Again, we've got options that further down. So we've got a headache rack on there. I think the lighting changes on the headache rack as well. Best thing I can do, I guess. Add-ons. We'll do add-ons now then. No. There we go. Rack with work lights, or design 2, which puts that kind of rack, slightly different design rack. Then back to no. If I put that one on with work lights, there we go. So I go back to that. So check the lighting on both of these there. So on the rear bumper and on the rack. Design 1, design 2, yeah. Design 3, back to design 1. So rear bumper on there. Visors, we've got standard. Now, depending on what other options you've gone for, you may get some of these pop up or not. Design 1, design 2, back to standard. So that will depend on whether you go for a chrome one. If you go for design 2, this will also depend on when you choose your colours. Roof colours and other colours, it will change them depending. Emergency light bar, no. Classic, that's standard rotating beacons. Or you've got strobe lights, flashing beacons, or no. Headlights, design 1 is standard old schools. Then we can go design 2, which is your LEDs. Back to design 1 again. Capacity, now this is where the tanks come into play. So we've got 580 litre. Adds more. Now 580 litre 2. Why is that changing the exhaust? That's interesting. 800 litre. 1000 litre. So you can see what I mean. If you go for these ones, your third axle will clip into those. So depending on what tank size you go for will depend on, you know, what axles you might want to go for. Then we're back to standard again. Vinyls, we've got no. Design 1, which is pretty cool. Design 2, design 3. Then we move on to the specials. Design 4, 5, no. So again, depending on what other designs you've gone for further up, what options you went for on configurations will depend on whether the vinyls will show and whether you can change the colours or not. So be aware, again, fiddling around with various different options will depend on if I'm going to go for one of those so we can see the changes in colours. Then we've got third axle mudguard. We haven't got the third axle on there, but you can change that standard design 1, 2, 3, 4, and it matches up. Sorry, 3, and then back. Then we've got engine setup. We start on a 620 horsepower. Sounds good enough to me. 620 plus 700 horsepower. 995, 995 horsepower. The 1985, 1985 horsepower. Price goes up a little bit. Then we go on to the the TLX 9020X CVTX, 2010 horsepower. That's crazy. Then back to 620. T-bars, this is on the back. So we've got standard, or yes, you can have a T-bar on the back. Again, when you change the light configurations, it will change on there as well if you've gone for that option. Air intakes, that's on here. So we've got standard, mushroom top air intakes, or forward facing. Those are the two options on those. Lower exhausts, so down the bottom we can have no, standard, and depending again what different options you've gone for, picking those lower exhausts can put out-turned ones as well, depending on what options you go for. What else have we got? Interior colours. So at the moment we've got standard, design 1, design 2, design 3, 4, 5, blue energy, back to standard again. So a few choices there. Interior decoration, yes or no? No, it's nice and tidy. You look after it. Yes, there's a bit of stuff knocking around in there. More lived-in feel. Passenger, yes or no? I think it's set up if you've got the Kubota DLC, you can have a passenger in there, but you don't have to, so you can turn that on and off. Because if you put it on yes, it's not like there's suddenly a passenger sitting next to you. It doesn't put a figure in there or anything. Then we move on to colours, framework. All the different options on 82 Studio mods. We've got sort of a standard colour. Then you've got, is it more flat? Then they're more satin. They're more aged. And that's in various different options of colours. Again, have a play around. There's all the different chromes, polished, dark steels, aluminiums, coppers. Loads to play with. Decal. So decal. There we go. So the centre decal, you can see that's the first one we're changing. Let's go for that, for example. Cabin. Let's wait for one that stands out. There you go. Changes the main cab. Second set of decals. Again, depending on what you've gone for, we'll change the second set of decals. Cabin roof. Does the visor as well. So again, depending on what visor you've gone for, it will change that as well. Fenders. Let's go yellow. So again, depending on what fenders you've gone for. Rim colour. Ton of options. And then license plate on there as well. So loads to be going through. Now I'm pretty sure this is exactly the same. I'm going down looking at these. I am pretty sure. One thing I'm going to change though, just to show you, we'll put a triple axle, and then when we go down to here, where were we? Wasn't add-ons, light bar, headlights, capacity, where are we? Third axle, mudguard, there we go. So design 1, design 2, design 3. So that will mix and match with other options you've gone for, depending on what you've gone for. I'm pretty sure this goes up to the same, same power output. Same with T-bars, air intakes, lower exhaust. Nope, same on that one as well. But I'll show you what I mean as well with the tanks. Where are we? Hang on, that was further down, wasn't it? Where is it? Oh, okay, that option's gone. Oh, capacity, there we go. See what I mean? So if you go for a 3-axle and you go for the larger capacity tanks, it will clip through. So that's something just to be aware of when you're doing that on capacity. But yeah, other than that, options are exactly the same. If we go back up to the top, configurations, the extensions, then the vintage, USA, blue energy. If we go back to standard, if we come down to special editions, again, we can scroll for all of those. So it depends, again, what ones you want to go for on those. But let's have a look and have a listen. Let's jump in. I love that. That's cool with the light. Come on. So this one's got LEDs. So around the outsides, insides, main beam. Horn is awesome. This one I went for standard beacons. Yeah, rotating beacons. Do I leave the jake brake on? So this is your, I think it's standard. Yeah, that's with jake brake on. So if you don't like having the jake brake on, you can turn it off. So go into that, jake brake off, you don't have to have it. If we then open cover, opens both the doors. Now, unlike some of the other Z82 Studio mods, this doesn't have opening and closing windows, blinds. The fifth wheel doesn't move or anything like that. I think it's just options in the selections, not options afterwards. Because if I check L1, we've got jake brake and open cover, R1, L1, R1, cruise control. So there's nothing for anything like windows and fifth wheels, rotating work lights or anything like that. But the lighting is really cool. Side lighting on there as well. Interior. I love this one. When you scroll through, like all the switches coming on and off. If you look to the right. So this is with all the stuff out. Stickers, little tray of stuff, bottle of water. Oh look, I've been collecting toys. It's even down to, turn it off. This one, the diesel, as it goes through the gears, that rolling coal, that as it changes gear, your exhaust dips. It's brilliant. Just listen and watch. So again, looks like an old fire engine, like a fire truck. That's pretty cool. That's got standard lights, this one, so not LEDs. But very cool. I went for the strobe bar on this one rather than the rotating one, so again, depends what you want to go for. We've still got the opening and closing doors. Open cover. Interior, this one's a bit tidier, and I went for a different trim in size. We've got the black and red in here. Fan going, didn't show the other one, did I? And obviously all the lights and things that move and do what they should be. So let's get this going. Look at that. I didn't think I would have a collision. As I turned, I thought, I'm going to hit it. I've got the jake brake off on this one as well. But it's just up to 77 miles an hour. Now the rear hitches do work. Ball hitches, pin hitches, ploughs, that kind of stuff. I've got the right way round, haven't I? This is the diesel. But another triumph from Oito Studio. I really do like this. So, enough options. Enough things to keep you busy. And that's it for the mods for today. There's no maps or anything that have come out. Please tell me they haven't updated anything while I've been doing this. No, I don't think so. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.